of the IT vertical space above storage and do exactly what we would have looked the defense to do during the plant, which is take out the planter or at least get the kill off the back of the crossman.
For this attacking team, 55 seconds left, and it's all on the shoulders of Badif.
Had the intel, but no. Badger grabbing away. Another. The pokey.
Pokeball. Hydra says, I choose you, Joker.
Kiss my ash. You got 0 sense. Your IQ is low.
Did you make that up right now?
Yeah, right now on the spot.
I just want to touch on mental health. If you're feeling out of it,
They put together a hell of a club sandwich. Sledge must have been the bacon because he got fried.
A whiskey! What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back with another installation of the Siege Double Shot coming at you XGS style, and we have got a banger for you tonight. I'm the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, on the desk, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey One. What's up, Whiskey?
That's right. Welcome back, everyone. Continuing the role that we have had recently, closing out all of the SILCQs. Man, and what a crazy game it was in the SAL today to see Liquid eliminated and Black Dragons moving on. Wild game, my friend. Happy to be part of some of that history, but kind of crazy that may be the final game we see Nesk in. A little bit sad to say.
Yep, tears for sure. Tears for sure. A great, and hopefully we get to see him stay in the scene if that is true, if the rumors are true, of course.
Yes.
Well, tonight, though, XGS. Oh, man, we have got a good one for you. If you've been any part of the double shot for the last year or so, you'll notice a variety of tournaments that we've been to, and one that featured some fun names was those rival roller tourneys, and we got kind of a fun rematch of one of those tonight. Raid Bullies takes on Franklin Karn and Co. versus Orgless, or, of course, X-Alix, as you see it on the screen. Runt, this one's going to be good.
It is, my friend. We'll take a quick look at the standings overall for XGS. If you're wondering, if you win 3, you qualify. So Unity, Seneguns pulled that off yesterday. And then JJ's team, Ballsack Nation, Team Cess, Karn and Co., Orgless, Imperium of Man, SSG ACAD, and Kaysen's team all on the bubble looking for a win here tonight. Yeah, and you said it. We have got a great one set up between... Man, the Franklin Raid matchup, the Spiff Carnage matchup, there is a bunch of great ones here, and 2 very good teams looking to make their mark. Tons of money on the line. 3K? I mean, can't beat that, my friend.
Yeah, no kidding. And if you're looking at the names here, I mean, this is names that have been on this channel for years. Some of them on the side of Karn and Co., Toaster, Deity, Carnage, Zonky, Raid. And on the side of Orgless, or X-Alix, Inrio, Solo, Spiff, Uzi, and, of course, our GOAT, Franklin. So, honestly, I mean, we've seen this matchup before. This is one that's written in the stars. It's more than just trying to find your spot. It's a little bit of pride on the line, and we got to find out where the heck we're going to even see where this is going to start taking place. Run Clubhouse, Cafe, and Bank. That feels very stock standard here, right? A little bit closer to some of the default.
100%, man. I thought maybe we might see the Fortress pop in. We might see something change up just a little bit, but no, not going to happen. It is the stock standard lineup. Club, Cafe, Bank. Man, solid standard lineup here, which means great plays on both sides expected. There's not going to be a huge map knowledge differential with Fortress not making it through the list. But guess what, my friend? It is time for Clubhouse.
Okay, man, you just love to just hop right in. Clubhouse, what do we love about it, right? This is one of those, you've heard us talk about the textbook map, right? It is a place where good teams can go to die because of how default it is. Every angle you're holding, operator lineups that you bring to the table, there isn't much new under the sun for Clubhouse. We have seen some changes a little bit, right? Clash taking over one of those power positions for top red stairs, and, you know, like there's different iterations of it, but in its essence, it's very similar. So bans play out a huge part of the process when we get into this first map.
Well, and really, when you see Clubhouse, the other thing that happens, I think a lot of the time, is that the teams go for the hard breach and the breach denial bans to start this thing off. And Orgless and Karn sort of matched that up at the first with the Cade and the Thermite going down, but then changing up to go to the Mav and the Solus. The Solus is an interesting one. Orgless does not want to have to deal with that the Solus and a little bit of her intel gathering aspect, so maybe we're looking for more of a plant-based, a objective place game style. See how that one goes, and it's going to be the basement to start this one off.
Man, I love
Defenders,
the
protect your
Solus,
bombs
man.
from being
Who
defused
thought
by attackers?
Post nerf, that would be a position that we find ourselves in the ban phase. Getting that intel on the board, but it just makes sense, right? The great gun set, or the P90, the intel provided. You just watched it. That entire LCQ, right, is just tons and tons and tons of intel being shared. Where's the push coming? What's plants going down? And yeah, I agree with it. Take it off the board, get it out of there. Hard breach on the other side. They still got double duty they can work with. Queen on the court. Star's going to be in play. Defense kind of taking one of those, like we talked about, those standard kind of defense tackle to protect on the highway windows, usually in the aspect of trying to protect somebody who's or something. But now it's just kind of there to be there. Force your hand towards an opportunity.
That's a good point, and we talked about that so much. Solus nerfed into the ground, murdered in her in this the latest level of nerfs going out, but seeing a bit of a resurgence. Feels like, again, when the team wants to be focused on that breach denial or on that plant denial, that Solus really plays a part in that. So, see, not going to have the option, but I like the defensive setup. That combination of the smoke mute, like all the way back to year one, that combo, so good. And then Raid bringing out this Aruni to sort of burn that extra util, and look at this, coming it down the top of red stairs. I don't understand how Solo had made it right into the middle of this with Glaz.
You know what's funny? We watched the 2v2 tournaments very early on, the SGCs back well, when he was under his other name. And it would have been cool to see him in those 1v1s today that you guys were casting.
That's a good point, man. There are so many players that I wanted to see in the Ubisoft 1v1 now Xbox Game Pass tourney that like just didn't make it in. That really felt like one that there could have been so much more, and I'm very excited to see where that 1v1 now tournament goes in the future, because as the awareness got raised, as more people were familiar with that tournament, it didn't get, wasn't officially streamed until it got to FET stream, and Pengu's just at the end of this whole thing, so sort of missing out on big pieces of that 1v1. So I cannot wait to see what changes, and when we get more players into that, see where that competition brings us going forward.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the quick band advantage will quick be in the road for a minute left. And this is where smoke will start to become that factor of slowdown, making sure that Moto hatch drop, that main lobby stair is in inhospitable place. Try to claim back one of those main advantages. Util dump towards generator, double fire rings out. You should be able to escape into the rotate, but into the waiting hands. Of Franklin. Attackers are going to find one on a beautiful collapse down onto site.
Yeah, I love those quick executes at the end, and sometimes that's all it takes. One precisely placed hatch drop, and then bam, win in that column. So Orgless takes it on the basement on Clubhouse, for sure, one of the most statistically best defensive sites. Great way to start this off. Karn, though, going to adapt for sure. They're not going to run it back. They're going to play Jim Bedroom as the next place, and this one feels like, for a team that spends a lot of time breaching, there's so much focus upstairs on that part of it. Without the Thermite and without the map, their options are definitely limited. So we did see Orgless run the Hibana to try and clear out the castle barricades last time. They may run that same kind of setup, but the place they're going to have to watch out for, Zonky on the Clash. That doesn't feel like his normal op, but you know what? I'm here for it.
You know, we've seen with the Clash rework, we've seen a resurgence of aggro Clash play. Not just there to be that stopping force to provide that intel, but you set that thing down and then you put the gun in the hands of somebody that knows how to use it, cough, cough, zonky. Then all of a sudden, it's not just a stopping force, it's not just a pace setter, it's also the doom of somebody trying to get up and push into it. Requires multi-bodies to get it done, lots of util dump, especially if you're holding near that red side of things on the site overplay. I love the Clash play here. The other highlight run is the Denari, and just want to say, Jeff, we talked about using some of that Denari tech in our ranked games, and Run absolutely did, just crushed with Denari and those trip placements. So why do we do LCQs? That's like a big part of it. Hoping to find some here as Raid pulls out those trips.
Yo, I don't know if I crushed it with the Denari, but honest, I love gaining that little piece of intel as we played Siege Cup last night. I had a lot of fun. You know what? At the end of the day, it's that game that we all love. But these guys getting to fight for some money, fight for some clout. T3 tournament here, setting up and practicing. A lot of this is getting ready for Challenger Series. And if you're unfamiliar with Challenger Series, well, can't wait to introduce you to it when we get into that March timeframe. After the 6th Invitational, we're going to see the teams that are fighting for promotion into Pro League, and Challenger Series is the place that'll happen. And it'll happen right here on the SDS stream. So both of these teams looking for that spot, and they want to try and steal it away from JJ and Co. We're going to have to do that battle. And honestly, Franklin was on that M80X roster that got so damn close.
Yeah, well, take a look at all the teams. When you looked at the bracket, and you can use the bracket command in chat there. All of those teams that are on this XGS right now, these are the teams that you're going to be watching in Challenger Series, making that bid, going for that spot, and it's of course where we watched our friends do it previously on the last one. So yeah, good start here. Get it set up. Man advantage gets equalized. Uzi's going to find Deity off the board, and L85 going to claim life. I'm going to start to put some pressure into this bathroom. Selma Charge opening it up and forcing him out of that comfort spot. But here's Clash coming right in to make a difference, to be part of that stopping power. Now has a chance to put some damage onto the highway.
That last 50 seconds left, a nade coming in. Oh, not only does it take down the shield, it gets the kill to go along with it. Huge play there. Now into 3v2, 42 seconds left. Still holding on to the back of Logi, so this attack, man, falling apart as Carnage picks up in Rio. 2-2 now with 30 seconds left.
Smoke canister goes out. Now it's going to be the shots onto red. Dealt with some trip connectors. Has a cold diffuser. So going a little bit for frags here in the last 23. Again off the bathroom. Can openers just being the bane of the existence. Trying to get over and put pressure onto it. The Deimos ping is out and they're going to get into a prone position. Raid finds Solo off the board.
Wow, what a play. Headshot, top of the stairs, perfectly placed crosshairs, ties this game up. Man, we expected a back and forth battle between these two teams, and right now delivering on it. It's just round 3. 2 rounds already. We're talking about a best of 3 between these two teams. Again, we're coming down to the promotion stage. So the winner moves on, makes it into the playoffs in XGS. Loser's going to have to fight out one more battle. So 2 best of 3s for the loser tonight. The winner goes on.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
All right, one apiece, and they're going to keep that routine rotate going. We've been talking micro games here on the last couple of streams, and this is one of those, right? The question that starts out, when you lose your site, specifically when you lose your primary or your secondary, do you go back? Do you take it on to the routine? Do you fix the issue going forward? I love the idea that it's, you know what, we lost that one, but there's no need to ego it. We'll talk about the mistakes we made and just move on to the next map like we wanted. It's just business as usual play. And I think that works out for a lot of teams. Since Samira was left on the board run, they're going to go ahead and run it here for this Cash CCTV site. Interesting. I love it.
All right, my friend. Watching this team jump in, one of the things we had not seen, at least to start this thing off, at Franklin there on the Monty. And when you're talking about the cash CC side, I think that's a great call to try and get some pressure there on the warehouse side or the garage side. And the fact that Ace survived the ban phase is a little bit surprising. I mean, it's pretty rare, I feel like, we see the Mav band over top of that, over top of the Ace. And could be just the fact that, you know, this Karn and Co defense wanted to run a little bit more aggressively. You know, the Mav can fight through all of those electricity, all of the breach and aisle pieces of it. So make sure that they at least make it harder for the attackers to get that wall open. So it's the standard play down here, looking for the player in lounge as well. And man, Solo on a tear right now, picked up another Glass play. I'm wondering whether or not he's going to be part of that ban phase coming up at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, no, what we've been seeing it more and more, and for good reason. It's been a fundamental part of a lot of these quick pushes, and especially when you're trying to get somebody like this Monty to come in and find some space and real estate behind you. Glass is a great push with a smoke right beside it. They find the first, Castle goes down, man advantage is in the hands of Orgless. As here he comes, starts making his way up. They've got direction from everywhere. Glass from the bottom. Monkey shield now at the top of Catwalk as he's put himself in a little bit of danger for this. And then it's underneath. You have, I believe it was grenades they were trying to throw up. The ADS is, of course, slowing that thing down. Shot! Oh, just not to be moved. Takes one, finds the Monty, and that's a huge play. Numbers are equalized here, Run. Glass now on a very low health scenario, so when the dust settles, when the Sense Gadget clears, defense, I think, coming up a little bit better here.
And Raid picking up another's 4 and 1. And geez, just as I say his name, Spiff takes him off the board, puts him into a 2v2, but Solo is low. 50 seconds. They've got a little, no, not garage control at this point. The Azami's in play. The barbed wire is in the way, and Diffuser at the top of those stairs. They are going to be able to pick it up now, though. They need to make this transition over, and Karn right there waiting for it.
C4 still in the hands of Donkey as well, so the potential for a plant to just all but gonna be denied here unless they're able to have some aim labs pay off, and this is potentially the bait, right? Get the Sense Gadget out, try to see if you can get them to send it preemptively, but there's a cam, there's a DP, they're watching completely, intel to be had. There it is, one goes out, and it's just gonna be the shot, and if Zombie didn't, or if the MP7 doesn't get it, the C4 for sure. Good night, sleep tight. Defense is going to find a good one there.
Ooh, defense plays, I mean, solid upstairs. So they pick up both of the 2F sites. The lockdown on upstairs, and then the fact that the attackers had to fight through garage, all the defensive utility. That BP was still up at the end of the round. Orgless, that's one of the pieces they'll have to try and work on clearing. Some of that a little bit earlier. Basement, yeah, not gonna see the quad site here, my friend. I think they're gonna make that adaptation, find a way to win in the basement as the alternative. I don't think, I'm gonna say it, not gonna see that bar stage, my friend.
You know how much I love the offsite, but even I'm not crazy enough to say bar stage is going to be good. I do want to see it. I'm not going to lie to you. I do want to see it played, and I want to see it win. Just because that's going to, of course, fuel my fury for sure. Because if they can win on bar stage, they can win on any quad site. But yeah, you're probably right. Not going to be the case here. They're going to take it down to the basement and run this one back. And a little bit of a change up, right? Castle's still on the board for that extension upstairs. Probably going to be where Mute is, I imagine, going to take some of his Mute jammers as well. A little bit of intel, and of course the static pressure that only a zombie can bring to the table. I like it. It's a fun setup. Gives a little bit of room to work, a little bit of room to move around. Does see Castle usually in some danger pretty quickly, of course, as that vertical is just such a necessary piece of the puzzle.
Speaking of bar stage, he's working down here, opening all of this up. I like that strat that you talk about, the vertical hold from the castle upstairs. I know what you love the castle as well. Partially because I think it burns time, it burns utility, allows Castle to work that piece of it, and even if he dies in the quest to try and hold on to that space, it is slowing this attack down. Orgless I don't know whether, they're certainly moving faster than some of the teams we've seen, because they are moving with purpose, moving with intent. Franklin working that support role, opening up those the Havana, the hatches. Look at that C4 comes out. No, wait, he shoot the C4 out of the air?
Of course he did. That's just what you get at this caliber.
Yo.
Huge play, and they find themselves a double kill. Uzi's able to take Deity off the board in the process as well. So 4v3 when the dust settles. Onto a mute jammer for Habana. Proxy's going to give away Uzi's location again, but it doesn't matter. Solo's there to find the kill. Carnage going to find his life forfeit, and now it's only going to be up to Zonky and Toaster to try to bring this one back. They're inside. They're getting the plant down. It's a classic retake scenario here for Karn & Co.
Yeah, and catching Zonky, you said it, offsite was upstairs, and then it just completely falls apart in the last seconds. That diffuser goes down, the adrenaline kicks in, and he's holding on to a tight angle. Man, Orgless was just a few like a fraction of a second too late. He holds that exact same angle ready for it as soon as he pops off the diffuser. If Alix or if Orgless gets into that spot in just a second earlier, or not Alix, Karn & Co. gets into that spot just a second earlier. That's a done deal there for the planters. So perfect timing. They hit it. 2 basement attacks, not in a row, but man, that is just right now their sight. It can't be stopped.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I love it. Tied up here. We're going to bring the castle up, so a little bit of an adaptation to the Jim Bed strat. This is what we were talking about earlier when I had the sight wrong. We bring the castle up to help guard onto that 90-ish area, right? Help and support the Mira, able to potentially get any Selma charges off the window or X-Kairos when they try to deal with that as well. Couple that with the area denial of the Goyo and the stopping power of Raid on an Azami. This is a setup defense run. They're gonna completely bunker down for this.
That was an interesting one. Unnamed, the observer, showing us that you had a pair of those Goyo canisters on the back of the cache door there. It's sort of an interesting setup. So they're going to run the normal castle though and prep it just the way you should. But that was a cool piece of setup there from Zonky. It is super dangerous, obviously, for the Mira if Toaster's going to be holding on to that Mira actively. Because you know what, if he gets caught in that corner, you get the hatch opened up. See, I'm very curious to see how those Goyos sort of impact this defense, because it feels like that's a very dangerous setup.
You saw him over putting the castle barricade on the gym bedroom door, and you might be asking yourself potentially, what is he doing? Because you can just pull those things down. He's doing what we call a castle prep, right? It's setting up that castle barricade to be one hit quicker to get in and surprise the enemy that's gotten into the gym area from your 90 position. And it's just quicker to hit it on that and break it on that last hit than it is to pull it down. So it gives you that wow factor. So if you're new to Siege, that's a fun mechanic that they're showing off right there. It's quick, it's surprising, put it into your ranked games for sure. Of course, here in this process, in this league, in this caliber of player run, they all know that trick, so probably be expected. Cheese Ops on the board. Ming's gonna be part of that process as they send a grenade down towards, as they send a grenade down towards that red, he's able to rotate out and find that first kill. So the two ops that go against each other, Glaz and Warden comes out the victor on that one.
As we get into that last half, this round is gone. At this point, going to pop the environmental ingredient. Again, take a look at this. Just playing in Logi and no real pressure from the Orgless side. That feels like a little bit of a miss. They're hard over on the Cache CC side of the map, trying to push through construction, but it feels like they need to get somebody up on the hatch, upstairs, to try and put that pressure on the Mirror who's playing back. Or not Mira, Karn who's playing the castle back in that corner. There it is. Inrio's going to be the guy with the Ying just causing chaos downstairs. And it's a 4v3, so they have the man advantage at this point. Look at this, holding ready to drop those canisters, and that will burn plenty of time. You're talking about 45 seconds left. Most of it is going to be gone with those Goyo canisters.
Duck, tough. Grenade goes off, gets the down environmental ingredient. Cleans that one up. It's all going to be up to Zonky now, and those coveted Goyo canisters to get the job done, but it's fire from everywhere. Franklin's going to find that kill, and jeez, man, he was just tucked into a corner.
You know, that environmental ingredient over by the Jacuzzi main breach is one of those that, you know, sort of feels like teams bounce back and forth about whether you use that defensively or whether or not you get rid of it, because it really hinders your ability to try and make the bathroom rotate. And Karn paid the price on that one. So another check mark in the defense should clear it before the round even starts column. I think the one on the construction side is certainly much more powerful, and for sure leave that one up. But yeah, I'm thinking that that's unfortunate to lose your life to that
Attackers need to
environmental
locate and
ingredient. So
defuse
Orgless
any
on
bombs
attack
they can.
picks up another. Karnico is going to keep that standard rotate going. They're going to play the
Attackers have
cash
located a
CC
bomb.
side, and they had a good hold over on that side of the map initially, carried it over, but unable to be successful. So well played there by Orgless. Karnico looking to make this a 3-3 split. I mean, standard on Clubhouse, defensive sided. Orgless has put in the work already.
Yeah, I would say that same thing, right? What do you call standard on Clubhouse now? When there's two high caliber teams playing against each other, I think 3-3 feels like that could probably fit. Castle back on the board. Some pace to be set here as they extend downstairs into the lounge and swamp area. Mira again, of course, as those last bands went through with the Ace and the Bandit. So could see potentially a little bit of mirror tricking. Yep, towards the breach, and there it is.
I love that breach setup with the mirror there. I think it's a great way to play this. Gives you a little bit of that ability to put some pressure on the attackers. It does leave you a little bit vulnerable, but the fact that you can use that to try and clear off some of the breach utility, and that Orgless doesn't have an awful lot to work with, right? The Therm, the Mab, and the Ace all banned away. They have to rely on can openers, and the fact that you know, they brought along 4 of them with both the Zofia and Spiff running that Capital. He's got the option. So rather than try and push directly, look at this. Franklin on the shield again, hunting everyone over on that side of the map, but nobody from Karn holding down the bathroom side, and there it is, that Karn environmental ingredient.
Yeah, going to be a little bit of slowdown, but here's the other deal is you just open up a couple of peek holes in Logi. Glaz saying peekaboo there, trying to catch somebody on the door. Got a little bit of a spread out here as they're trying to make their way up, and some pressure already starting to mount. They got to get that single wall open from construction on into sight, and then we're looking for that 3-2-1 bingo call.
Half that round gone, but it's going to be Solo to go down first as, you know, they lose that long-range DMR. A lot of the interesting one there, Spiff on the Capital, not running the DMR. He's going to run the AR this time around, running that Power 308, and that's a good one too. But they have got plenty of intel here on the site, and look at that, C4 comes out. The shield, though, dodges it, keeps him alive. But look at this, Zonky on the lurk, up the stairs from behind. That is going to be the hero play. He's got to get this done, though. 58 seconds left. Do they know that he's on this lurk?
Couple of shots going on now. Spiff's able to
Yeah,
find
they did.
Zonky. They
Yep,
do. He
damn
was
it.
recognized. They denied the dream, and that's going to give man advantage over to the attack as the plant starts going down. Carnage now going to be unconfirmed on the kill just yet, but it falls apart. We talked about a run. You're saying the 3-2-1 bingo. They checked the boxes. They took the real estate. They have the intel of exactly where the defenders are sitting at. They called the 3-2-1. Bingo's the go word, folks. They get it done, and they find themselves up 4-2 on that split.
W play there from Orgless and Karn. I wouldn't say they struggled at that point, but the fact that they couldn't find a win on basement either time is for sure a little bit of a problem. And the fact that Orgless adapted on both of those upstairs sites. So that was a full round rotate in the hands of Orgless, basement, gym, and the cash CC side. So that feels very good. Like, just looking at the scoreline, obviously, like, you know, Karn got there too. But the fact that Orgless won both of the upstairs sites after Karn won them earlier really makes it feel like certainly more powerful on their side, right? Typically, you see that the two being the two off sites where maybe one, you know, the other team doesn't have a good hold there, but that was Orgless adapting to everything that Karn brought to the table. So they're gonna have to work a lot harder this second half, certainly because you're in a 4-2 scenario. This was, oh man, now I need to check the map bans because I'm going to potentially say it wrong. But yeah, this was Orgless's map pick. So when we go to Kafe, that's where we're going to see Karn maybe come out a little bit stronger.
Okay, well, I think WinCon's being set here. If we're taking a look at the scoreboard there, run 10-2. Uzi, just better, my friend. Just getting it done across the map, being that chaos agent. And he's going to quickly find himself in that WinCon position. Take him off the board, find yourself the go. It's the op swap. We're here to switch sides and the operators around.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
So
bombs.
we're going to see what now Orgless is bringing to their defense. And they're going to start it on the basement. They bringing along very similar setup, right? Intel, stopping power, relocation. Honestly, this is a goated setup for the defense. We'll see if Orgless knows how to do it just a bit better than Karn.
And talking about solo, right? So looking back at the Spoit Contender Series, which just finished up in November, and in Element 6, that the Freaky Frogs team, that was Solo and Uzi were on that team with Mike W and Geo. And so, you know, obviously with Geo having some issues and needed to step away, the Freaky Frogs roster disbanding with Mike W also getting picked up for the Pro League team. Uzi and Solo needed a place to go, so changing out Focal and Rival on the Orgless side as the change. So those the two NA teams that made it to the Spoit Contender Series, swapping players with potentially this Orgless roster being the super setup with who was left not on T1 rosters yet. So, you know, if you had to pick a favorite like team statistically going in, Orgless looks like the better one. But I mean, Karnico, you still have got Raid, Karn, Toaster, and Zonky has been on lots of these different T2, T3 teams, brings a lot of game knowledge into this and can play a variety of roles. We have a great matchup here, and it's only map 1.
And you left one out too, Deity, also that known quantity, and going to put himself on Ying Tech. He's on that chaos-causing agent. He's going to be bringing some shoddy power out. Raid going to find the first as Uzi goes down. WinCon met for the side of Karn and Co, right? at least what we were talking about before the side swap. Huge first play. They're looking for more here. Zonky's able to find Solo, and there's that duo you were talking about. Zonky good for 2 now, as Spiff gets ripped off the board now into a 5-2 scenario. What did we learn during LCQs? 5-2 doesn't necessarily guarantee you the win. Still plenty of stopping power to potentially be had here. And as they start to open stuff up, here's where the time will be the big factor, right? Attack has got so much of it to work. So opening up the floor, getting drones in. They're going to find, ooh, Franklin off the board. It's all going to be up to Inrio now. Special goggles, special plays. The shots towards blue. He's going to find the first, on pace for the ace because he has to be. Second goes down. Inrio can do it. A little Himothy moment here as he gets shut down right at the end. Toaster toasts, and they find that win.
Man, downstairs on the basement. All right, forget the teams, forget the sides at this point. Basement. Attacker sided on Clubhouse. Not sure I'd be saying that, but that's the way it's playing out so far. All 3 times that it's been played, Attacker wins, my friend. And Orgless going to break a little bit with tradition at this point. Run it back one more time. They say, no, it is not Attacker sided. We are going to make the adaptations there. Again, couple early picks there just really gave that Karnico team a boost. And you said it, 4v3, evenly matched.
You can see it being becoming more and more attacker sided. Is like that's really where that variable can come into play. On defense, you've got 2 options, really, right? It's holding down sight, locking it down with breach denial, or putting yourself a bit of an extension in and holding vert or sight overplay. So with the attack, it feels like that's where the variable can start to come in, right? That's where the difference can be made. And based off the bans that are going, you've got a variety of options to get it done. I can, at least on Clubhouse, I can see this definitely becoming attacker-sided, even though I believe it sits in that 50-50 range currently.
Pretty close to that, and I don't want to try and do statistics on stream. I mean, for sure, we say that is not a good idea, but you know, lots of the maps have sort of moved into that, and this is an interesting one. Karn has been, feels like they were moving a little bit better, a little bit more coordinated on attack here. So we'll see how Orgless adapts now that they're in the basement. Bringing out the Melusi to slow all of this down. Still feels like Spiff is one of those guys on the Azami that is insane. I'm certainly looking for him to sort of be that key downstairs in the basement. He has been onto that roster, but look at that, a little bit of a distraction upstairs or a misclick. What was the Hibana on the roof?
Not sure. Not sure, but they've finally made their way inside a little bit, right? Attack has got Ying that went inside, or made it inside the bedroom. Go could be inside that first floor. Grim backing up. Toaster backing up that second floor look as they're trying to kind of figure out where in the world these defenders are at. No mute up here, so drones are going to be able to get most of that job done.
All right, minute 32 left, so half this round burned. 5's all at this point. That feels like really one of the first times that we've seen all 5 left alive this late into the round. Normally they're taking some of those engagements a little bit earlier. This feels like a good adaptation there from the Karn and Co side, sort of slowing all of this down to make sure they completely have the vertical. Everyone bunkered back down on the Orgless side, so fish in a barrel scenario, or W bunker strat. With that final minute left, it's going to have to be that 3-2-1 collapse. But look at this. Talked about Spiff and that Azami early on. Has got all of this space on lockdown, playing in the Arsenal corner. That's a very power position. And do they have anybody? No one coming through dirt right now. Potentially a little bit of a miss on the Karn & Co attack side.
It's time starting to become the enemy. Setup has been good. Rotations down have been great, but here it is. Folks are lined up. Ying Candela is set. That bingo call just about to be had as Havana still desperately trying to get everything opened up. Looking to try to tie it up here, and now that's the smoke canister starting to come into play. Candelas go down, flashes and smokes. Warden is here to try to be the bane. He's going to watch the drop. He's good for 2 as he just gets decimated. Answered back, though, as we find ourselves in a 3-3. Now that pressure into dirt is going to see them moving forward. Attack's going to claim it by 2 now. 6 seconds left, though. They're going to find it. Toaster again onto the final kill and run. That was just a masterclass in setting up, right? We started talking about the collapse onto site at 44 seconds left. Still opening up walls, still opening up vert, still getting their util ready. But when the call went out, when the bingo call went down, it was just all onto the site at once, and that overwhelming force is able to isolate a couple of players, even though the success of Warden finding 2 onto the hatch drop, and they come out with 1. They tie it up. That was a beautiful round.
That was another attacking win on basement. Dang, they're going to absolutely throw the stats for this site across the board, and that is one of the cool things that's going on with this XGS Season 8. Everybody in the closed qualifiers, they're using the new stats.cc platform to give all of the players their stats. Very cool, I think, and yeah, that feels like it's just gonna throw this thing off completely. The other side, Uzi, man, just as we said his name, he's 10-2, gets dropped to the next 2 rounds. So looking for him to make a big comeback at this point. And there, that environmental ingredient popped over on the jacuzzi side. Good call, cleared that thing out. So this and I think it's also a good call from the other side. Don't play basement one more time with how attacker-sided it's been. Let's try the gym bedroom upstairs, see whether or not we can hold on to this. And good combo of a little bit of everything on this defensive side. Slow down, the area denial or the wall denial there with the castle coming in, and projectile. We hadn't seen a lot of the Wamai or the Jaeger coming out. So Spiff trying to hold on and clear out some of that projectile before it gets there.
Taking a look at the other side, one of the staples of space claiming is going to be the Monty. They're only bringing about can openers and the Habana for getting everything open, and it's one of those accepted strats here, right, for gym bedroom is open up the walls, and I'm talking hot tub, construction, CCTV, open up the highway windows, get yourself some Logi presence, and then again, just like you watched on basement, you're going to be looking for that collapse. With bring along Lovano, who's got a more opportunity to get a couple of smaller holes opened up, can opener size openings, and just really be able to put the pressure on from everywhere. Took
not
some good
exactly.
space towards red. Go ahead.
It's not exactly everywhere, right? You take a look at where this defense was held. They did not have a lot of space, or not a lot of players initially on the Jacuzzi side. They were very much focused and read into the Karn & Co attack that was more focused on the construction side. They've sort of rotated back now, but it was a good read here from this defense to adapt both ways. That so heavy on this on the con side, they sort of slowed it down. We're now minute and a half. They're still working on clearing out utility, and they've bunkered back into those power positions, but they didn't waste a lot of time or manpower over on Jacuzzi until Karn made that read. So good call, both sides right now.
Now the pressure going to start to mount. Monty has made his way to the door. The Deimos ping is going to put some pressure onto Uzi, and that's going to be that factor, that win.
Oh, no way, he gets it!
Taken down. A pistol pop. There was just too much pressure from everywhere. A second goes down. Now Spiff's taken off the board as well. 5v3 as the attack starting to get active. It's going to be seeing Dady get taken down, but when the damage is done, when the dust settles, there it is. There's the quick break. Couple of shots off the window, but it was a free fire as they were ready for it. Now into a 2-3. It's a post-plant run. It's a low-health Zonky hidden, and we've got somebody hidden behind the mirror as well. No C4 deal from the long distance, and the crosses are set. Turn the beginning of the reel the beginning of that move into a early stage setup. This end is looking to be a highlight. On to Mira, finds it. Now into a 1v3, all up to Inrio, but can't get it done as Toaster's good for 2.
Man, suffocating attacks here from the Karn & Co side. They are really dominating as they moved on to this half of the map. Orgless was up 4-2 to start this thing, and throughout the third quarter, Karn & Co dominating as they go 3 in a row, twice on the basement, 1 on the gym bedroom site. They win both the primary and the secondary on attack. They have got this Orgless defense just read into it right now. Kind of crazy. Felt like they were adapting in all the right places. Even though we saw Franklin go on that little bit of a lurk downstairs, pick up a kill downstairs on the Deimos, who was playing like the vertical from down below, all a bit of a distraction, pulls him out of the way, and they're able to get the plant off behind the Monte. And you said it, crosses held, great attack from Karn & Co, and that's really 2 great attacks in a row from this team. Looking very good. So what a change around. What a little bit of a pendulum here in the map 1 of this closed qualifier.
Attackers
best of
need to
3.
locate and defuse bombs.
Well, here's that choice. Here's the interesting part, run. They're going to take it back down to the basement. This time, no castle on the board, so no extension up top. Maybe focusing a little bit more on that turtling down strat. Got a huge area denial in place this time, bringing both the Goyo and the smoke along, thinking this might be the win con to stop some of that. Now, it means they're going to give up a lot of that space, potentially, if they go that route. They're going to give up a lot of that space up on the first floor relatively quickly. It's going to give Karn & Co a lot of time to set their chessboard exactly right as they start to go for this next collapse.
So it feels like one of the things we haven't seen really from the Orgless defense is a very big roam game. They've been fairly bunkered on whether it's directly on site or just small extension over on the cash side when they were playing gym. Nothing real heavy upstairs for the basement defense. So they've not been extending too far to really put some slowdown here on the Karn & Co side. That may be something that we're going to see them adapt around. And the interesting thing for me was they banned out the Monty. I thought they were going to go CC to try and take advantage of that and get a little bit of a boost before having to play that site on match point. Like, you ban the Monty, that wasn't the critical operator for the Karn & Co attack for basement. So why not run that the cash CC side first? It's I don't know. It's a tough call, and feels like right now it is in Karn & Co's hands.
Well, that's going to be a first big pick, a big part of the puzzle. And you know what? Make it 2. Raid good on the double, just slamming as they take some of that vertical out the gate already. 5v3 and still a minute 40 left, and that was part of the problem of giving up so much of that space so early. Raid just on fire as he catches a couple, and now they got plenty of time to work.
Again, half this round, and right now Karn and Co in a commanding position. You said it, 5v3. The difference is you still have got Uzi left alive. Franklin the GOAT still in place. So you have all of his smoke canisters still there. C4 from Inrio, so they still have got some of the defensive assets, but time and players not on their side. This attack still has 1 full minute to try and work these vertical angles, push the defense out of the power positions back, so this can control the flow of where this plant needs to happen. And it certainly looks like they're setting up for the kitchen drop as the place is going to happen, because they're looking down on that vertical so heavily. And Orgless reads into that. Heavy on the utility church side, but get ready for the yings and the chaos, my friend.
All right, here's that execute. Warden ready again in the same position, ready for the hatch drop. Unity's able to take 1 off the board, and there goes the rest of the part of that area. To now looking towards the top, takes a couple of shots if the fires are there. Uzi takes Deity off the board. A little bit closer to equalizing, walking through fire and flame to find it, but check it out. All of a sudden, Inrio good for 2. Toaster going to be one of the last alive with Zonky on the side of the attack, and Zonky's going to claim it this time, and it was getting close there. Inrio has got that multi-kill potentiality, and he is good for a couple. Just can't carry the load on that one.
Match point scenario. Map 1, so again, still plenty of time left for these two teams to do battle, but Karn and Co put up a very good clubhouse so far. I was a little worried for them coming into that 4-2. Orgless looks significantly better, but man, this has been all Karn on the second half of this map. Absolutely locked in. Orgless unable to find a single defensive win at this point. And you know what, my friend?
Attackers need to locate and defuse
This feels like this is going to be a Karn and Co win unless we see something special out of this Orgless defense. They don't have to deal with the Monty, banned out the Monty, but not having the Azami available there for Strip certainly made this a little bit worse for this team. And I don't know. They're doubling up on the projectile deny, so they're definitely going to try and hold on solid to that garage side. So we'll see whether Karn reads into that and maybe pushes hard on the con side, or I mean they have the thermite left available to try and open it up. Looks like that's where Karn is going to go, plus the Habana, so they're going to get everything open that they need to.
I do like the switch up since the Monty's out. Blackbeard going to be the option and can do the force. So the problem is vulnerable a little bit more as you start to take that space. So it does potentially say that, you know, you're going to be looking towards that site overplay instead when you're introducing somebody like the Blackbeard to take that space. I like it. It's fun. It's inventive. We'll see if it pays off. Extension downstairs at the castle, looking to hang on to some of that vertical, and then a surprising move. We don't see the glass around. I kind of have been liking how that strat plays out, especially. I guess maybe it's all the projectile deny that was on the board. You suss out the Jaeger, you suss out the Wamai, and then you know, all of a sudden getting your smokes in play from Capital and Glass just really ineffective. Either way, we don't know the comms. We'll see how it plays out.
Full minute gone at this point. All 10 left alive. So, but again, getting the work in, the drones, the intel piece. This time they're watching for the flank, bringing out the thick lock with Toaster. There's the big question. Karn & Co has gone a man up, maybe 2 men up on most of these rounds. So this opening pick is going to be the defining point, it feels like, for this round. Orgless has got to get this opening pick. They need the man advantage. They need that little bit of a boost at this point. And oh, I thought they were going to open that wall up with the can opener, and Deity was going to be ready for it, but they sort of backed off and are going to push from the Logi side first, maybe catch one. Oh, he goes out! Man, so close. Solo is playing a dangerous game here.
Franklin going to see his first kill, but Solo, it is in a high-risk, high-reward situation, comes up with 2, giving the man advantage over to Orgless. And now they take that man advantage by 2 as well. So defense now able to lock it in. 2 support ops last alive, and they've got to be perfect here if they want to try to end it.
Huge play here from Orgless. They come out on top there. I mean, the fact that they pick up the opening kill and carry this forward. Finally, it feels like they gained just a tiny bit of momentum, and when they had to be perfect for 2, it was honestly their last opportunity. But the problem is, Karn Zonky still left alive, taking some shots, a little bit of util, and now 35 seconds left.
Manages to find one, and Solo gets ripped off the board. A couple of quick peeks here from the gym doors. Going to really do more location giving than anything. He's going to take a quick beat from the other side as well, try to catch somebody, but unfortunately 23 seconds left, not a lot of time to work, and they're not going to be throwing bodies now. There's respect on the name of Carnage, and he's going to hold back and wait for that eventual push. The smart play with 12 seconds.
All right. Well, you know what? We haven't said it, I don't think, very much this game, but spiff don't whiff. It was one of the classic lines from the Atlanta Major looking back, and Orgless picks up a round win there. The opening kill, the round win converted. It's what they needed to do. Are we going to see overtime on map 1? Karn & Co. looks so good. Unstoppable for 4 rounds in a row. Finally, Orgless finds a way to slow them down, but look at this. They're going to play basement one more time. Dude, this is wild, my friend. The absolute attacker-sided basement. Can they turn it around on the last round of the half? Or the last round of the map? Man. Good question.
I don't know. I'm not sure. They changed it up a little bit. You can see that Inrio brought out the Scopos, coupled with Solo onto the Vigil, and that's a power pick, right? Getting Solo onto the Vigil, letting him be that agent of chaos, letting him cook up on the stairs, has seen success in the past, for sure. Couple that with frag leader, or close to frag leader Inrio on a Scopos can be across the map. I don't know. Maybe we might see a difference in the change to the score line for basement, at least on this one. If you're hoping for some overtime, that's exactly what you want.
Obviously, I want to see overtime. The opportunity for both of these teams to be in that do-or-die scenario puts the pressure on and shows which team is ready for Challenger Series, which team is ready for the Pro League. Man, you said it, Solo on the Vigil, just giving him the opportunity to play it out the way he wants. Toaster takes a little bit of damage. Inrio is right there. He goes for the shot outside. Solo wins that. W play.
That's a factor we were talking about, right? We've just seen him be so impactful and bring so much value to the roam game, and that was a huge one. Now, here's a big thing. Could get answered back. Ram's there in a position to put some damage onto the Valkyrie. Does get in towards that area, but Valkyrie just nopes right the heck on out of there. Gonna leave a C4 to potentially bring some of that vertical pressure to play, but damage kind of already done. You got Toaster off the board. He was one of those last alive in almost every single round, wins or losses, and you got the intel gone as well. Huge first play.
The good news there for the Karn & Co. attack was they didn't lose the hard breach, they didn't lose the Ying, they didn't lose the Ram. All of those very critical pieces here for this execute to try and get the vertical, cause the chaos downstairs. If they're going to try and go for that church, or the church wall, get some of that opened up. Important pieces. They do lose that execute op and not having the Grim to at least give away the intel when that bingo call comes in, like you say. They're going to have to focus more on trying to find it early. The vertical piece from Ray going to be the important part here. And now with a minute 15, they're running around like crazy. Everybody down with the exception of, and check this out. The observer showing us Inrio's Scopos idle shell sitting, waiting in the lurk position. W play there from Karn for reading into that and clearing that important piece of util before it stabbed him in the back.
Bird's been opened up, less than 60 to get the job done. Takes a couple of shots, C4 there to answer. That's going to be the only one off the board. Done and dusted, and now it's going to be the Candelas. 42 seconds, and we're starting to see the util dump getting ready for that hatch drop. It was not successful on the other side. It's been sussed out. There's no warden if those smokes if there's some smokes or those candelas start going off. There's the candelas. Starts to head out, now it's to drop down the hatch. Ying on tech, looking towards the rotate. Spiff! Spiff takes Deity off the board, and that's going to be numbers advantage by 2 now for the defense. They just got to lock down site for the next 14 seconds. Fire's going to slow it down. Those Goyle canisters lasting forever. Spiff again! He don't whiff, my friend. Uzi gets a double kill as they're able to find it. Uzi good for 3, and between the 2, they took 5, and they tie that one up.
No way, my friend. Map 1, and we are going to overtime as Orgless pulls it off, slows the Karn & Co. attack. Man, after being unstoppable for 4 in a row, Karn & Co. attack faltered, and we see a basement defensive win for the first time, the 5th time that site got played in this map. Wild that basement goes 1-4 attacker sided, but love to see that they stopped it, shut it down, and sends it to overtime. 2F Cash CC looking to be the place that Orgless wants to set this one up. They get to carry this through. So Karn has been on attack for what feels like forever. Got to win one more, though. I'm going to try and push this thing over the
Defenders,
aura.
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Okay. Tied up. We knew we were going to be seeing some overtime at some point. It was almost written in the stars as these teams have kind of played each other in different various forms, different teams over the years. Overtime seemed all but guaranteed. Orgless is going to go on the defense first. Solo brings out the Denari, a little bit of trip connectors, Castle being a staple, and then back on to the Mira.
All right, yeah, question, whose map pick? Orgless, this is their map pick. Karn & Co. have Kafe on board for map number 2. So, and honestly, this Orgless was looking very good at the start of this map. And crazy good to start off here. And this is, one of Karn & Co.'s maps that they're very good generally. So the fact that Orgless put up such a good start was a bit surprising, but you know what? All of that came closing in on them as Karn & Co. picked up 4 in a row on the second half, completely locked in. Orgless just had a great hold defensively here on the last 2. When it meant the end of the line, if they lost, they locked in. Pressure just forged a team that put it together. So take a look at this. That mirror window so close. He's gonna swing for it, but baited as Raid gets the kill on Solo. W bait out on the jacuzzi wall.
One thing that you knew was going to happen, right? And you just, if you got any sort of ball knowledge at all, is that Solo was going to try for something cheeky. It was going to be quick, explosive, potential run out, spawn peek, something. He's one that keeps the aggression alive in a couple of different forms. Sometimes it's a hero or zero moment, and this time it's zero. Unfortunate if you're a Orgless fan. They take the main advantage on Karn & Co. But trip connectors are down, right? Still can be that factor, still can slow some stuff down, give some of that sound cues, so can have some value from the grave for sure.
I love the trip connector mechanic. That has been such a fun part of this game, but look at this. No! Did he just shoot through the shield? I swear to God, sometimes we don't catch it as the casters. We're seeing all of this live, but it looked like he put a shotgun right up to the face of that shield and shot straight through it. Crazy. He probably dropped it at the last second to try and win that battle, but that was sort of a funny mechanic. We go into a 3-3 with 1 minute left. Karn & Co. has lost their shield. They've lost one of the hard breaches, but you still have got the thermite. You still have the flank watch in hand, and then raid on the Grim. You can see the bees already going out, giving us some of this intel. And it's right now a little bit of a heavy push over here on the con side. One player still left outside on highway.
A C4 in the hands of Franklin. We've seen him be devastating with these. Circa Night Haven Labs run. allowed to hold on to it for a long time. They've got the top of red solidified. 27 seconds now as they've opened up that construction wall a little bit. Put some head holes on it.
Oh,
Gets
great
a single
C4.
push solid in there. Almost gets stuck on the grim. C4 not going to be held. Carnage goes down, though, with Spiff's able to find a double. Toaster on the double as well as it gets equalized. Numbers back into construction. Still have the mirror window to deal with. 9 seconds as they're just holding on. A grenade's going to force some movement.
What a
Power
great
up
nade.
Red. Raid's able to take Franklin off the board. Now they claim it by 2, but there's no time. They can't suss him out in time off the chassis. The diffuser wasn't there. They can't get the plant. That's going to be a huge win for the defense.
Wow. This is not a roller coaster ride, my friend. A little bit of a pendulum here as the momentum just has shifted dramatically back and forth between these teams. Orgless picks up 3 in a row. Karn & Co. picks up 4 in a row, and it swings back with 3 in a row from the Orgless squad to put them up 7-6. Overtime match point, 1 round away from closing this thing out. But it's time for Karn & Co. back on defense to try and shut this thing down. 14 rounds, overtime on map 1. What a way to start the day in the XGS closed qualifiers.
And look at the site that we choose to go down to. When it's all on the line for map number 1.
Attackers need to
Basement is
locate
it.
and defuse as many
It's the
bombs
call.
as they can.
Yo, I don't
They're
know,
hearing it.
man.
They're
I don't know.
I'm not sure. They do double up on the stopping power, the site redirect. Castle and his army are here. They're going to have the intel, of course. Valkyrie in hand. I mean, on paper, this is a really good defensive setup. A little bit of time torch with the roam game. Zonky onto the Boss G Vigil action. On paper, this should work out really well. Today has not been the case for that. Karn & Co. find their first and equalize on this overtime. Get it into a full 15. Orgless take it because we went basement.
And what a wild choice that is. I can see it, right? Basement is supposed to be the defensive stronghold. It just hasn't been going your way all day. Now, they did gain a ton of momentum. It felt like this was a bit of a struggle. And, okay, Raid, shutting down Franklin. Man, that was in the tweet, the battle between these two guys. And we get to see it on overtime match point as the opening pick, and it goes Raid's way. 15 and 9 and 2 right now. Franklin's no slouch playing that support role, but that is a tough loss to lose the hard breach, and he's going to get another one. He is just swinging for the fences right now.
Okay. Spiff takes Raid off the board, but the damage has been done. Your hard breach is off the board. Hatches not going to be an option unless they're already opened up. So means we're walking through, hopefully dirt if they got it. Castle barricade still going to allow that extension. Man, this defense might be able to lock this one in here. We're going to have to see some alternative entry. And they didn't give a plan B back down to basement for the castle, which means all of the hatches are going to stay closed. This might spell disaster for Orgless.
Yeah, that's wild. Losing the Hibana there when you have to the hatches are locked down is that, I agree, is tragic here for this Orgless attack. They're going to work on clearing out some of the utility upstairs, looking the IQ. I mean, Spiff is in the right spot looking, but these Spiff and Uzi, 13 and 14 kills apiece, just going crazy right now. But in a 3v4 scenario where you don't have anything to open up the hatches, they're going to have to traverse this using the stairs, the most dangerous way to traverse levels in Rainbow Six Siege, with no other options to sort of distract. Karn & Co. can hold on defensively really well here. This one feels like we're going to see round 15.
Zami locking down in. Not the right placement, and as he's trying to get that keep a barrier kind of set up and broke already to send it. Oh man, a second one rings out. Gonna answer back though, Uzi to take Deity down in the trade, now into a 3v2. Zami gonna lose her life, and all of a sudden this becomes winnable. Solo in a 1v2, but not gonna happen. Zonky is there, SMG 12 to claim one, and a Boss G for the other. Good night, and sleep tight. We're tied up.
Okay, there it is, my friend. The kill, I think the kill on Hibana changes that storyline completely, right? You go from basement being attacker-sided into a solid basement defense because those hatches are closed and there's no good way to try and get down and put some pressure on this defense. Karn and Co. on attack pulls that one off, or on defense pulls that one off. It stops that attacker-sided basement. Just absolutely wild. 7-7, all 15 required. This is it. Down to the last round. Someone has got to win Clubhouse right now.
I can't believe we're treated to it. I can't believe we're treated to a full 15 OT
Defenders,
scenario
protect your
right
bombs
out
from
the
being
gate in
defused by
this best of
attackers.
3. It's great. It's fun. The storyline is here.
Basement
Folks having some
again?
pretty good success. Well, you know, I guess. Look, we don't know what the comms are run. You know, maybe they're switching it up. They got a new strat. Castle Goyo, Scopos, not bringing along the Vigil this time for that run. So still having an attention to the verticality, still extending upstairs. We'll see how it plays out.
Man, appreciate everybody joining us here for this one. Thanks for being here on the Siege Double Shot to see the close qualifier here between Orgless and Karn and Co. Man, some you know, just legends in the chat. We appreciate y'all being here watching this one play out. Best of 3 between these two. This is Orgless's map pick, expecting a win on Clubhouse. Feels like they're peaking at the right time. Karn and Co had a mid-map resurgence that was nearly unbeatable. But Orgless is peaking at the right time. On defense now. They figured out how to win on basement. Can they pull it off again? Whole bunch of extra intel here and doubled up on the area denial. That was a strategy that worked for them previously.
Attack going for a business as usual here. Being on tech. Nope, call first going to go out, and that's going to cause a little bit of disruption. Cam's gone, and of course the Scopos, as you saw on the screen there, affected. C4 is ready, is going to be sussed out by a drone. It's going to start to rotate back down. In fact, it's going to be a full send. So that first minute is going to see just about, everybody turtled back down. They claimed some first floor space. Now they got to get some drones in for that, that second floor space. Now they get some drones in. And they get themselves some intel. They're going to have free reign again. And Karn and Co has been good in this situation. Given plenty of time, everybody's still alive. Util dump towards the end. We'll see if it's going to play off. Hey, yo, what a raid. Thank you so much, Exalt. Welcome in, everybody. XGS Season 8, Orgless versus Karn and Co. Franklin versus Raid Bullies. Tied up, map 1. All 15 required to get it done. We appreciate you guys being here.
All right, Exalt, I'm pretty sure you're playing on one of these teams, so that must mean that it's over here. Is this in, you know what, and I hate to say it for the other streams, we're in Swiss, meaning everyone is waiting on the results of this game for the next round to generate. So one of these teams move on. One is going to play a second best of 3. Oh, wait, we got a best of 3. Plenty of time. You know, we're not slowing anything down yet. I'm not going to feel bad.
No intent to slow down. It almost going to feel like every map or every site's going to require some OT for this one. Everybody just firing on all cylinders. Couple of 16s on the board, couple of 13s on the board. Is KD is like almost exactly similar across the board. Couple of shots towards dirt, not going to find it just yet. The pre-fire's there, the cross. Lots of intel coming out as the Grim Bees go down. Collapse onto site for 19 seconds, starting to ensue. Candela's looking to be that factor, the it factor. Is going to be Raid to go down first as Inrio finds him off the board. Double hatch drop onto Moto, looking for the prone position. Lost again as Solo takes him off the board. Answered back, finally, Inrio to go down, but there's not enough time, and it's just going to fall apart. Franklin with a shotgun to take it, and defenders are going to find the first one.
Holy hell, came down to the hard-fought victory, 8-7 for Orgless, and what was a collapse on the site at the end and just fell apart for Karn and Co. But man, they put up a fight. They got damn close, my friend. I thought they were going to pull this thing off, and you said it. Crazy number of kills both sides of the board. Raid was right there. I mean, right there. thought he was going to get this one and just did not pull it off at the end, the opening death. Could have been the guy to carry him forward. He's going to have to do it on map 2, which is Karn & Co.'s map pick, and Kafe. That one has got the potential to go all the way as well.
Yeah, no kidding. We're heading from one default to the very next default. This is going to be an absolute kill feed highlight moment. We had 5 players that reached double digits between the two
Wild.
teams on that. Yeah, and between 2 of them, like 33 kills. Right between almost the 2 top frags on both sides of the team. So just having a absolutely brawl for it all back and forth. Clubhouse takes all 15 to get it done. I see zero reason why Kafe might not go that same way. We got to get the lobby set back up. There's some fun siege going on right now, so we're gonna let you tune in to Sir Pineapple's $10,000 creator clash while we get this next lobby set back up. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the snacks. We'll be back with the second map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back. Map number 1 was dramatic. It was all 15 required. It was the downfall of basement on Clubhouse. Honestly, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it.
Just
like it was
just
freaking
freaking wild,
Clubhouse.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy Clubhouse.
I've never seen that level of attacker-sided Clubhouse like it all, and I think right now teams are just
That
playing
is the
very
greatest
aggressively on attack.
moment in my
I
life,
absolutely
bro.
love that we're getting a chance to see that. And all right, 4. Thank you very much for the tier 1. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for everybody here on the XGS Close Qualifier stream. So we're looking at 16 teams in the standings. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up one more time since we had a second to show it. Who is left in the standings? Unity and Senguns qualified yesterday. And then we had Team Sesh. Oh man, did they already? No, they didn't already win versus JJ and Co. They moved down because of a round diff. But Sesh, Orgless, Imperial Man, JJ, SSG, Karn and Co. Those guys we're all sitting at this 2-1 scenario. So that's the big question here: is which one of these teams is going to make it? Two more are eliminated here in this first round, and then 2 more in the next. So lots at stake here for the end of this closed qualifier in XGS.
No kidding. And just stacked names, right? I would watch any one of those teams play each other. Those are all teams that we love to watch. Competitive, high caliber, high action teams. We've got one of those going on right now. Overtime on the first, Kafe for the second, which means we could be blessed with the very same scenario. Ban's going to play a big part in this. You know, one of the things that we saw a ton is the util dump there. I'm wondering if we see a Ying or a Grim ban coming up for this Kafe next, because it was just proved to be such a huge part of it. Intel and that chaos reigned supreme and netted some attacking basement wins. So honestly, it's going to tell the story of how that whole map is going to play out. I'm excited about it, and we're about to get into it.
That's right, my friend. It is time for Kafe. This is Karn & Co.'s map pick, so we're looking for them to come out maybe a little bit stronger than they did and then hold on to that advantage that they carried through the middle of Clubhouse, which was honestly pretty impressive, putting up 4 in a row, just completely shutting down that Orgless attack in the middle of this thing, the Orgless defense in the middle of this thing. It was very well played on their side. So, and honestly, I was a little bit surprised that we saw Orgless pick into it with Clubhouse being one of those maps that Karn & Co. is so freaking good on. So here's the question, my friend. Raid dropped 16 on that previous map, but he was matched in style from the Orgless side. Who picks up Kafe? Are we going to see map 3? Are we going to see Bank? Or is it going to be over here with an Orgless win in 2?
A solid question. And honestly, too close to call it. Too close to call it. We're going to head down to the first floor for site number 1. Clash going to be on the board as they're showing. Fenrir is a great addition. The bands that ring out, honestly, feel like a good ones on the side of the defense. Mira and Castle just being so good at stopping vertical pressure on Kafe. all the way up onto the second floor, even if you're running
Attackers
the
need
mid
to
floor,
locate and
even if
defuse as
sometimes
many
you're running
bombs as they
bakery.
can.
So I like seeing those taken off the board. It means we're getting in, we're taking space, and we're doing it quickly. We're not worried about that breach now. And on the other side of it, the
Bomb
Monty.
located by
That's kind of one of the question marks for me, right? Kafe not generally something where I think we would see Monty being a huge factor, but of course this could be something that they've prepped for. This could be one of those strats that that Karn & Co really are just gonna exploit. So they take down the Capitao. That's some of that
10
util gone,
seconds to go.
forcing that movement. Take the walking shield down, the mountain himself out. We're gonna get started right now on map number 1. Hatch Queen as our opener.
There it is, my friend. Yeah, you said it. First floor. So the third floor has really sort of fallen out of favor for sure from a site selection standpoint, and feels like the first is one of those stronger sites. The mid-floor sites, though, on Kafe have also risen in popularity. It used to be that mining was hardly ever played, but we definitely see it competitive play often. So, when you're talking about how you want to play this one out, if you're starting off on the first floor, I think the Monty ban is not a bad one. Monty very good on that first floor, pushing on the bakery side, gaining a little bit of control. Default plant over right next to the chassis. There's some good options there, and Karn & Co, they have some shield players, some guys who are great on that style. So, but they brought along a lot of this, a little bit of everything from this attacking side. Flank watch, vertical. I guess doubling up on the vertical with both the sledge and the ram, which almost feels a little surprising with how little sledge gets played.
Toaster back onto the Grim. First minute ticked by. Playing that hide and seek game, trying to find the first. Raid's gonna take it as he takes Spiff off the board. Good thing for Fenrir, of course, he's got the gadgets down, but wherever they're opened up, that's now where they stay. I'm sure if they guard the flank a little bit and think about getting some tracks out, and now it's time for Sledge to go to work, opening up as much of the floor as he can, sussing out some of these critical push points so they can get started towards that execute. They're doing double duty. Rams up here as well, ready to get started with that. Not really any C4s or anything to deal with that vertical pressure, so they got to have to do it the old-fashioned way. A little bit of gunplay.
So here's the question, is Ray just, and the rest of this Karn & Co team, just devastated, frustrated, angry coming into this one after being so close on map number 1 and just having it slip out of their fingers in the final seconds of that round? We're going to see them get activated in a huge way here on attack. This is their map pick, fully expecting, and these guys have played against each other a number of times, right? As teammates, as opponents. I want to see this energy from the Karn & Co attack that they're carrying forward from a devastating clubhouse loss.
Equalized. Uzi on the Vector, a force to be reckoned with. Stop Ray taken down in his trance, but answered back immediately is the LED5 claims one. Now to a 4-3, but time has ticked down. Right, they haven't taken enough space. They've got to get in and active, and the pings are starting to go up. There's only 7 seconds left. Still playing outside of it. Going to take one on the equalizer and run. This is going to be over with all 3 people still alive. He's getting the plant down, but it's not going to be enough. Franklin goes crazy on the double, and time the ultimate factor there. Able to just stop them in their tracks. You blink and you missed it.
Wow. Crazy. The shield play in hand with the secondary just annihilates the end of this Karn & Co attack. Now, the diffuser was going down. They were right there, but just falls apart in the final seconds, and that feels very similar to what we saw in that previous round. So good, though, on the attack originally. Let's see if they can turn this thing around. Talked about mining sort of falling out of favor was out of favor for a long time, but gotten that
Attackers
recent
need to
boost
locate
as the
and
mid-floor
defuse
sites have
bombs.
sort of risen in prominence. So let's see what mining brings to the table for this Orgless defense. There was a time that I would be shocked to see mining over a third floor.
Yeah, this is one of the unique things I think about Kafe is that all 4 sites are viable options for defensive wins, right? There isn't that bar gaming. There isn't that kitchen dining. There isn't this customs anymore that has to be dealt with because there's so much vertical to be had. Right, I think that's a big part of it. There is so much soft breach, but it's relatively small as far as room size. So it can be very advantageous to just fire up through the floor and reverse that verticality. I like mining as the site. I think it's fun. And in the round rotate as the third floor feels very solved. The rise of 2F has been huge for Kafe.
One of the things we saw from some of the other SI LCQs early on in the NA region was tons of spawn peeking happening on this map. A very aggressive defensive play. You know, there is some teams that really like to take that I don't know, definitely for sure a riskier stance to start this thing off, but Orgless feels like they're playing back just a little bit, and Solo here gonna run the Solus. Solo on Solus is just a little bit funny. She was banned out on that previous map. Orgless didn't want to have to deal with her on the attack, and part of the reason is knows how good they are with Solo playing that operator. And look at this, another run out from this team. Doesn't hit the mark this time around though.
Yeah, just able to escape down below the wall, so the line of sight could be destroyed long enough to be safe. All 5 still alive. There's the first minute goes by, but just barely. There's a C4 primed prepped. In the hands of Uzis. He's looking to make a quick buck. They don't find one, though. We've got nobody up on the 3rd floor for the defense. None. They've all rotated back down into holding on to that 2nd floor now.
Yeah, they're very spread out from a defensive perspective on the 2nd floor, and it was only Solo still holding on to that 1st floor bakery, watching maybe playing that plant and aisle setup. But yeah, a little bit surprising. Karn working on top-down clear, completely standard for Kafe to clear out all of this space on the 3rd floor. But the shots from down below. This is Inro has rotated back down there to back up Solo on the 1st floor to play the vertical down below as well. And Karn, since they're all focused on that 3rd floor, a little bit of a missed opportunity. The fact that Franklin went down, you know, from playing the vertical there, down, right? This is this little bit of a sandwich here on that 2nd floor, and it feels like Karn moving a little bit too slow. You're talking about 30 seconds left. They have all 5 left alive, but don't feel like they're in a position for a quick execute.
Self-flash as they drop down the hatch into laundry. Bees are going to go out. That's going to reveal the location with a shotgun in hand, but it doesn't matter. Uzi finds one, Spiff to get another.
W play.
And now they quickly take the man advantage. Yeah, just too much time, right? Now 4 V3, and you got so much work still to do. It does get equalized as they start to push in, and they're going to potentially start to go for the plan as Carnage has made his way in here, but still got the
there it is.
There it is! Down below. They're calling it. They're shooting it, and they're going to get it. Defenders are going to take it. Raid and Zonky to find one, and that was just a beautiful play. It was just a great stop, right? Defense has been so phenomenal on Kafe so far, and I know we're only in round 2, right? I get that, but they have just done an exceptional job of just wasting time, just setting the pace very early, and then forcing you to put bodies on clearing floors, and we can't get it just done with the job, and then being in the perfect position to stop the execute once it goes down and it's the only option left. 2 just beautiful rounds out of Orgless on this as they take the first 2. Now it's going to be the test on the Tersh. Where are we going? The other 2nd floor or up to the 3rd? And yeah, they're gonna stick into that 2nd floor map.
Man, that was a crazy play, right? You have the plant up on top of the dining table, right? In exactly the spot you need to try and prevent the Solus planting out from down below. Opens up that hole at the last second. And you had an attacker downstairs to take out the Solus, but it was just a fraction of a second too late. The fact that you have 3 full minutes to set this thing up comes down to fractions of second in the execute to me is wild. And one of the reasons why Siege is one of the best games out there. Full stop. This game is awesome.
It's kind of exactly what we're hoping for. Now it's time to see Karn and Co. Equalize and find their double round as they start to adapt to what Orgless is bringing to the table. Gonna have to start with this spawn peak. There it is. It does get sussed out. They take a couple of shots, and it's gonna be Solo moving back up. We talked about that in the pre-show. We talked about it in map 1. Solo loves to spawn peaks. Who would have guessed, based on the name, that he's gonna make some solo plays like that? Sometimes they're absolutely huge.
Okay, so Karnico has come close on attack both times so far. Certainly much closer on that second round. So what do they need to do? They focused on full top-down clear. Worked out not the way that they wanted to because of the way that Orgless was holding from down below. So they didn't really read into that fact that it was a solid hold in the basement or on that first floor until it was too little, too late scenario. So they're playing upstairs, and Orgless doing a little bit of a good job here trying to clear or slow this team down, but it's going to be Raid to take down Solo, man. You were talking about how good he was, making the plays. Raid answers back in a big way, sitting at, again, 3-1. A hell of a good start.
DD off the board. A quick answer. Sentry Uzi's able to find one. Numbers get equalized at a minute and a half left. Kind of the halfway point. Gonna get some drones in and take another look. Get a couple of ideas of where the defender's at. Kings are gonna go out. They're gonna take a couple of shots, but nothing rewarded just yet. Still have that plenty of time here. But now's where they got to start making some of those moves, or they're going to find themselves again in that 3-second plant scenario that has just been so tough for them to actually pull off.
About a minute ticks down. Raid sitting at 3-1, having an incredible game here. Now Uzi on the other side, 3-1 as well. A little bit of Twitter beef coming out there with this Aiden calling out Uzi as the guy who is going to give Orgless the victory. I think Blake and Raid have got something to say about that as he picks up another, and now if he gets one, Zonky takes down Uzi. Man, just say it. I'm sorry, my guy.
Yeah, Caster cursed right off the board. We go put that on Twitter, my friends. Man advantage by 2 now, 28 seconds left, and this is a good position to find yourself in. But yet again, time still becoming that factor. You got to remember that we've got Spiff and Franklin on the other side of this to try to hold on to it with not very much time. This could be a problem. Stops the plant. Franklin gets one, but is taken off of the board. Now starting to make the push up. Has to find one. Into the corner. Does. Looking for a second.
Spiff!
They're able to get the plant down, but into a 1v1. So now it's going to be that factor of finding the vertical. Do you retake it, or do you play it from down below? He's got a chance to potentially go for a long arm. That's going to be the sound cue. He's going to start sticking it, but the footprints are there.
Gotta hurry! He's gonna miss!
He's going to find it! No! Spiff don't whiff and pros don't fake, and he finds both, my friend, on the 1v3 post-plant clutch.
No way. What a play from Spiff at the end. Diffuser down, and Karn and Co. That was the whiff. And he had the play. The shotgun in hand. Toaster was ready for it, taking shots. And you said it, pros don't fake. He did not get off the diffuser. Just held on, hoping that Toaster was going to miss. And he does. What a wild end to that round. That's a Karn and Co. plant now. Man, is that all 3? For sure, 2 rounds in a row, and Orgless has still walked away with it. Man, these are coming down, again, seconds on the clock. They're separating these 2 teams.
Beautiful plays. 3 in a row, and all of them showed something else that was great. It was just having the presence of mind, knowing there is not enough of that vertical space. You can get yourself far enough away to get that plant down. Had to wait for him to open it up and just stuck it. 3 in a row. Wouldn't mind seeing a timeout here. You know, talk about how those first rounds went, kind of like we saw with the Cloud9 game, where they would go down 3, they take a timeout, and then they just win it out. Karnico isn't just down in the scoreline though, Run. They're also down in the overall map points. This is it. They need to come alive. There needs to be that adaptation. And these are all players that are more than capable of doing it. It's going to be a switch up though by Orgless, as now they're going to introduce the Maestro into play. More time torch, more slowing you down. This is just going to continue to play in Orgless's favor. Wonder what the adaptation is.
I wanted to see them run the Brava as the alternative, and man, I can't remember which one of Karn & Co's players it was. It was so good on the Brava at just stealing that intel. But it feels like, man, this would have been a great one to work with the combination of the Maestro and the Aruni gates there. Just to give you a ton of intel that you could steal from the Orgless side. You can clear it though, right? And Raid bringing along the buck here. This is heavy vertical game, so we're going to expect that Karn & Co top down again, gain control of that second floor, completely decimate an Orgless defense that bunkers back onto that first floor setup. They can pull this off. Just going to have to watch and clear out all of these Goyo canisters, and Uzi sitting, waiting, watching at the bottom of white. 1 full minute of gameplay already burned. The good news is, if you are a Raid fan in the chat, it's not an elimination game either way for this team. They're going to have one more opportunity, one best of 3 after this to be able to try and pull it off. But, man, it has come down to this. You don't want to get into that do or die scenario. You want to take that win right now, and that's what it is in Orgless' mind.
Okay. This is a little bit different, right? I know we're at 1:30, but they are now starting to open some of this stuff up. Did they stop the Selma? That would be insane if that impact goes through and stops the opening up of that breach. Clash is tucked in off of that main lobby, trying to be kind of that stopping power. Really just an incredible time torture, potentially. Did they get the hatch? Yeah, okay, it opened it up. That would have been a crazy play if he was able to impact up through the bottom to save that thing for then. Big pace being brought along by Karn & Co. They're like, you know what? Get active, take some space. You know, we're being meticulous. We're getting our frags. Now we just got to do it in a timely manner. Already seen some damage onto Solo. Other than that, we're all 5 alive.
Now they're pulling off the strat we talked about right at the beginning of this. Top down clear, gain complete control of the second floor, and now push the Orgless defense into the corners on the first. They're still holding the power positions, and plus Franklin on the Clash, devious here to hold this thing down. So they are not ready for the drop yet. They need to clear out some more of this space. And right now, take a look at this. Maestro still holding on to that bakery. The Goyo canisters needed to get cleared out first, but Deity, Solo, man, a couple trades back and forth. Now we're sitting 4-piece with 10 seconds left.
That's crazy. Through the fire, through the Fenriers to try to push up. Still have to deal with the Maestro.
Oh, what they trade?
Trades ring out. All of a sudden, attack comes up now into the 2s, but it's 2 seconds left. Yet again, no diffuser in hand. Defense is going to win it out on the time battle. It has just been a beautiful stall game. Karn & Co is not moving fast enough. Or Orgless is doing such a great job at setting that pace so early. They go up on a 4-0 start here against Karn.
Okay.
Man.
We have seen both of these teams go on some tremendous streaks, right? We saw Orgless go 3, Karn & Co go 3, Orgless go 3 at the end of that previous map. So they can pull this off in what is a longer time frame. And you know what? Just noticing, it said on that previous round, it would be great to bring out a Brava, but you know what? My bad. We had talked about it. Brava banned out at the end of the first quarter. Perfect time for Inrio to switch up the strat and start playing the Maestro more often, right? This is one of those strategies where you sort of bait out the ban by not having by not playing the Maestro early on. Now we're going to bring out more of the electronic utility. In addition to the magnets, now we're going to have the Lucy's and the Maestros here, and Inrio's going to play them again so good at setting that pace and giving intel, right? It's one of the things we saw from Orgless on Clubhouse was they did a great job of adapting around the way that Karn & Co was pushing the attack. So they telegraphed it very clearly on that round. Top down clear, solid second floor hold. Orgless undeterred at trying to manage around it. So what are they going to do this time? We're going to see definitely a bigger play here from the Orgless roster upstairs, right? 2 players upstairs on the 3rd floor this time, and Solo holding downstairs in the basement, ready for the swap with the idle shell sitting inside train.
Holding on to some critical push points. A couple of them being very default. Might see our first bit of activation. I just read that in the chat. Might see our first bit of activity here is starting to put some pressure towards the top of red, taking a look for a rotate. Definitely going for that top-down clear again. Stopping the flank from potentially happening. I mean, run. Karn and Co are checking all the boxes. They're doing all of the right things. They're winning critical engagements. Just running out on time. As the first minute ticks by, it needs to be a factor that goes in to taking this top space. And this time also, defense has actually got some folks up here. So it's not just going to be the walk of the park, no bodies there. Now you have to contend with that top floor presence. That's a good way to do it. Raid's able to take Spiff off the board, and that's going to give them a man advantage. Minute and a half now as they have made their way fully onto the third. Now starting to take a look at the second. A second comes out. Carnage able to take Inrio off the board, and that's going to be those cams. That's going to be a big part of that stall power taken off the board. 5-3 with 1:20 left to go.
Well, that was perfectly played, too, from the Karn & Co side, right? Raid's DMR shot upstairs forces the defense to make the drop, and he's going to pick up one, takes down Franklin, but there Uzi is waiting on the laundry side, so he did his job, picks up a double, forces the defense to clear out completely the top floor, so now they've got the vertical on top to hold down on mining here, but look at this. Solo's going to make the swap, playing downstairs. It's going to be the vertical. The problem is he's left alone in a 1v4.
Has to put himself on pace for the ace. Plant's starting to go down, and it's going to see the idle shell taking a look. He's going to make the switch over, and he's going to get dealt with immediately. Lots of noise there. Toaster's going to find them, and off the back of a potential plant, we're going to see attack find one.
Yeah, that was a great round from Karn & Co. They played that definitely better. The opening pick, obviously, from Raid on that third floor to force the defense down was the opening salvo and what was a clutch up on that round finally. And again, the plant went down. And the fact that these rounds have been very close, right? We talked about on round 2 and 3 that they were fractions of a second away. They needed to move fast, but they didn't need to be crazy fast. They didn't need to take chances. They just needed to be that little bit better. And they pull it off on round 5, finally. And if we see them pick up another one, and you go 4-2 half standard split on Kafe, doesn't feel like that tells the complete story of this map, because it had been all Orgless on top like crazy to start this thing off. Is this a resurgence of the Karn & Co attack? Gonna play second floor to close this thing out now.
4-2, yeah, I'd feel comfortable with that on the attack, and even though it has been, you know, a little bit one-sided in the way that the first half of this is played out, we still gotta remember it's defense on Kafe, right? With a lot of these sites, they're expected, we're expecting the defense to take them. And we're gonna see the same, potentially the same thing as Karn & Co gets onto their side of it, but this round is important. Right, an Orgless team that's on a one away from match point scenario is going to operate way different than an Orgless that's put on a 4-2 split onto their attack side. Both teams really needing to lock this one in.
Yeah, the hinge point here for the entire map at this point, and we said it, all the pressure is on Karn & Co. In a best of 3, they need to find a win here on Kafe in order to force that third map of Bank, and honestly, man, I would love to see Bank between these two teams. Kafe is playing out, you know, almost feels, you talked about it early on, very standard, right? Top down clear across the board, plants in the right spots, but, you know, it hasn't been any of those crazy heroics. I want to see, you know, Bank, which has got a little bit more of the opportunity for some of those crazy plays to happen. So this is defined engagements between them. Both of the teams doing a pretty good job at this point, and Orgless right now very evenly matched right across the board. 4s, 3s, 4s, 5s all the way, but Raid, the opening pick again, takes down Uzi. Man, you must have read that Aiden Tax tweet and said, you know what, not today, my friend.
This is a huge play. Solo goes down as well, but he's going to be recoverable. They're going to be able to pick him back up. But that was a huge play, right? Made a little bit of noise inside of the tracks and then just held the ground. had the intel, potentially the comms that the flank was coming, and then as soon as he had that sound, it was make the swing and let it sing, and that's exactly what he did. Main advantage over to Karn and Co. Now by 2 as they're able to take Franklin off the board, and that's the clash down. Again, that's a good second pick, like we saw the Maestro go down on the last one.
Away!
Enrio up through the hatch, sends one long and rewarded with 2. Main advantage equalized, but then again, taken down. Solo goes down as they take another shot, equalized again. Enrio on the triple kill, on pace for the ace with 56 left to get it done. Trying to keep himself in position to get his team a 5-1 on the half. 48 seconds, plant starting to go down, the cross is set up, defense starting to close in on the gap, 1 above, 1 below, finds it, the equalizer,
No way, they traded!
into a 1v1 scenario, Deity's gonna take it and deny the ace, sends Enrio to the stars. Sheesh.
No
2
way.
on the half. How did we even get here? Wow.
What a closeout on that round. Enrio is on pace for the ace, 1v1 at the end. I mean, picks up the double C4, and then Deity, right place, right time, perfectly shot. And Karn and Co. picks up their second in a row. Man, completely changes the tone of this map, because that was all Orgless. They were going crazy. 4 in a row, looked unstoppable. And again, Karn and Co. on attack, went for the defuse again. This is a team that is absolutely locked on an objective-based gameplay and putting extra pressure on that defense. But man, Deity pulled it off. No plant required that time around.
Not for lack of trying. Not for lack of trying. Looking at some similar bands, at least for the first ones, and then Solus again taken off the board. I love that it's 2026 and Solus is back on the, you know what, we just don't want to play against her at the moment. Util on the other side, Capital and Grim gonna go down. Makes sense, you know, that the Grim having such a huge impact with that intel, revealing multiple locations when they get into that collapse onto site, and Capital being that force that can move those folks off those critical positions. Talking Bakery, hanging out behind the bar. We're talking White on first floor, or I mean VIP on the first floor, or you know, any number of places. So both of them taken out feels like a good move. I like these bans here on Kafe. It honestly feels like we could get ourselves into an OT situation yet again.
Yeah, Solus banned on both sides of the map this time, and for Orgless banned on both maps as well, right? Again, it's crazy that these two teams, very objective based gameplay focused. They want to get the diffuser down. Solus so good at working to deny the plant. And we saw it on one of the previous maps. The Solus in play could have stopped the plant, or it could have stopped the counter diffuse, rather than having that, you know, trying to shoot through the floor, right? Solus, I think, provides a ton of opportunity there to try and deny the plant, and so when you take her off, you ban her out, it makes it significantly more viable to try and get plants down. And I love the fact that that's the style that they want to, right? It's not just run and gun. They're going the strategic side of Siege that I think has got them on pace here for setting up Challenger Series runs in the future.
Air jab to protect held doors. Just gets on to repel. The window simulator, as you've dubbed it. There it is, too, on the window. Going to try to do just exactly that from the other side. C4s have had some impact here. And on the great window simulator can be the same sort of feel. Tension from the roof. They're going to get some drones in, spot something they like, and they start moving towards the cocktail side of things.
The great window simulator. That's one that a lot of casters have said, but the legendary Light Rose, I feel like, was the first one that I really caught it from. But you're right. I mean, you're hanging out on the windows the whole time. It really cramps the defender's style to be able to move around this map when you have so much opportunity. I think that's also why Capital consistently banned on Kafe, because he can make that much more difficult. And Franklin takes down Toaster. Big opening pick there, answered back. 4v4 now, a minute 22. Again, moving a little bit slow. Which team is going to pick up the pace here quickly?
Got yourselves equalized, minute and 10 left. Another falls. Raid's able to take Uzi off the board in the battle going back and forth. Now into a 2-2 as Inrio's able to find Carnage. Defense in a good position with those goil canisters still around to deny plant for as long as possible. One on the first, one on the basement side of things. Basement on the first floor. White stairs ready to play into that lurk roll. Try to retake some of that vertical. Diffuser's in hand. One for the cross. Now
There
into
it
the
is.
default. Plant starting to go down. Zonky's made his way up towards the top. They've got the intel on where he's at. Solo's able to take Raid off the board. Can't get into a good position to deny the plant just yet, so it's going to have to drop down.
No
Impact
way.
EMP looking towards White. Retake scenario through into 90. Not able to find it just yet. Inrio to find Zonky off the board. Orgless is going to take another.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate scenario there for Karn and Co. Both of the defenders that were last left alive sort of took the individual ones swinging, and Orgless made him pay for it. Inrio right now absolutely locked in, having a hell of a game here on Kafe. Feels like he's the guy. Raid, you know, he's for sure sitting at the top of the top of the kill feed for his team, but unable to do it solo, right? And you push into that post plant scenario in a 1v1, and Orgless was there ready to make him pay for it. So he can't carry that team individually. Some
Defenders,
individual
protect your
heroics
bombs
will
from
carry
being
you a
defused
little
by
bit,
attackers.
but it's not going to keep them. It's not going to carry them into the round win. So Raid's got to have the backup of the rest of the team and work together with those guys to find a way around it.
Attackers
And
have
maybe
discovered the
take
location of a
Inrio
bomb.
off the board. 9-5-1, almost perfectly matched with Raid on the opposite side.
No kidding. Win con on both sides. One is find Raid, the other is find Inrio. Okay. Well, what is the part of the adaptation? Gonna see a little bit into the slowdown clash on the board. Some trip connectors in the hands of Deity as well. And some Raid pulling that just daunting DMR out by Tuberau. So, I mean, yeah, they've got some stopping power. They're going to hold on to the breach for as long as possible, maybe an attention towards that hatch as well. And you can already see there's a couple folks that have made their way up to that second floor. But one specifically, Deity up there by himself currently, but I imagine we'll probably see a little bit of a rotate. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we're just we're fully extending first floor, none up on the second. Could be a potential miss here.
Yeah, it's one of those question marks, right? Like, which way do you want to play this? How far up? What's the extension like? Do you want to try? I mean, for sure, it's spending a little bit of time trying to at least cause the attacking team to pause as they make the push down. I mean, you can for sure make that rotate down in a safe way. It doesn't necessarily have to be through the hatches, but play on the stairs, put some pressure on the top red. But we'll see. Orgless right now working top down. I think identified pretty quickly not a lot of resistance up top, and now working the windows outside. Huge bakery push to try and win versus no way. Clash wins that battle. Zonky on fire.
Well, Zonky on fire. Zonky gets taken out. Glad's able to find one. Didi answers back onto Inrio, now into a 3-2 scenario. Defense still in a good position to hold this one out, but there's a lot of time left to work with. Gets answered again. Solo on the Glad play is going to find the head of Raid. Didi goes down as Solo's on the quad kill. Solo now on pace for the ace. The C4 rings out. Doesn't find it. Solo for the ace to put themselves on a match point scenario. Solo gets it done, and he's going to do it with some finesse, Glaz style. Sheesh.
Okay, ace in hand. Orgless now on match point scenario. After an incredible first map that went 8-7, all 15 required. Karn and Co showed a couple moments of brilliance there at the end of the first half on rounds 5 and 6, picking up their 2 attacking wins. But, man, they have struggled on defense across the board. They won 2 defensive rounds to start the first map off. And then, right after that, their real power came on the attacking side. They needed to pick up more rounds here on their map pick than they pulled off on the beginning of this, and Orgless is just carrying a tremendous amount of momentum in. It is not just match point, it is match point and best of 3 series point here. Orgless picks up one more round. They are moving on to the group stage, the round robin, and Karnico is going to have to fight it out in one more map in the XGS closed qualifier tonight. Another best of 3.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's defense on Kafe, so you know there's factors in the favor of Karn and Co for sure to be able to do that. All these players play at a high caliber level, but the problem is, so does the other side. Defense going into some of that pace setting. Goyo canisters and Azami out and about. No real attention to the 3rd floor outside of Raid, who's up there, the top frag, gonna try to hold on to some of that position. Now it's time to get the drones in and take a look. There's a band out in the first one, was the Brava. Not a ton of gadgetry to get active and steal outside of default cams. Of course, the BP that potentially leads towards the C4 capabilities. A couple of shots onto Raid as he makes the rotate around, but he's going to block off that window. Smoke start coming out. C4 is there. Whoa,
oh
man,
no!
Easy to take Raid off the board, though.
Oh,
Huge
bro.
play. C4 misses, and they get the shot instead.
What a huge blow here to the Karn & Co roster. Again, Raid has been the guy that's sort of carrying this team. He's not... You can't rely on the individual heroics, but man, they had been counting on Raid to pick up a pair of kills on several of these rounds, and now the rest of this team is no slouch in the set of gunners that they've got, but they're down a man, and they lose the Azami to try and block off some of these sight lines. And again, you can see all of the window repels in play, lots of DMRs on the Orgless side. They're going to be able to open up those sight lines through the soft breach wall, so Karn & Co going to have to play extra careful now when it's come down to the final, man, a minute 13, tons of time for the 5-stack here on Orgless to work with.
No kidding. They claim a man advantage. They find one more. Oh, no. They do. Didi goes down. Now in an excellent position to start to get objective-based, right? Get in, take some of that space, get the plant down, and then hold on for victory here. Defenders are there. We've got a K that playing close, but now it's time to start opening the vertical. Toaster gets ripped off the board. The Warden is done, which means flashes and smoke's going to be huge here. Cade looking to try to equalize here. They've got to cross on the window. Zonky able to take solo off. The hero of the last round, the ace of the last round. 30 seconds. Plant starts to go down. Smokes are out. They're able to deny it. Karn and Zonky good for one. Equalized into the 2-2. Now 22 seconds left. Shots towards red, but the diffuser is now down and cold in a dangerous position. It's going to be a rotate as Zonky has made his way into the main corridor. Going to try to take the fight from the other side. Coming up red, could have the play.
Oh no,
Inrio off the board, and it starts to fall apart for the attack team. Now into a 1v2. Not going to be anything you can do in 4 seconds left. Shot towards 90, finds one. He's just going to go for the plant. He has to stick it.
A fraction of a second.
Up from red. He's going to potentially have a chance. No! Zaki shuts him down. A pistol pop and a body drop.
Karn & Co ain't done yet as they lock in on defense and, man, hit a couple of fantastic shots versus the Orgless roster that looked like they had that thing absolutely on lockdown. Once Inrio goes down, the Org falls apart, and Karn & Co picks up that huge win. Whew, man, I thought when Raid goes down and the huge double there from Carnage comes out exactly when they needed to keep this thing alive. Man, what a play. Bands are going to lose access to the Azami and the Glass, two great operators, honestly, with the way that this thing has been playing out. DMR meta for sure. So, got to be perfect for 3. They needed 4. They pull off a fantastic win. Can they do it? 3 more in a row, this Karn & Co defense.
Well, a big thorn in their side was the Glass. They banned him out and off, and that could, of course, be part of that impactful situation. Solo being so good at just finding the picks, of course, is what he got his ace off of. He's going to stick with that DMR, though, at least initially, showing the Dokkaebi coming out. Karn & Co going to lean into that time course, lean into that pace setting. right? All 5 operators kind of dedicated to that. Valkyrie a little bit with more intel, of course, but Goyo, Castle, Fenrir, and Mew, it's really about taking away your intel and your ability to push up, to make some of those plays. I like this adaptation out of Karnico as they're looking to find their next tree.
Shotguns in hand on the defense, a whole bunch of those, but man, C4s, a pair of them, a little bit of this extra intel, combination of BPs and Valcams. They're going to have a good idea about where this Orgless attack is setting up. For sure, though, top down clear. I mean, you got to expect it at this point. So who is upstairs on the 3rd floor? You got 3 of the Karn & Co defense, and I think that is a great call here to slow it down. It felt like one of the pieces that they had sort of been missing was trying to slow this thing down a bit, but look at that. They're going to lose the Valcam quickly. 2 of them. Man, Spiff, perfectly placed shots there with the Twitch.
So he don't whip with a gun, and he don't whip with a Twitch drone either.
No.
Just an absolute sniper. Inrio, though, gonna take Raid down. That's a tough one. And still, you know, close to that frag leader position. Zonky took that over as he hit the double digits. But, yeah, huge shot. Oh, and he says it, too. Damn.
I mean, you go for the run out on the 3rd floor. I don't know whether or not that was the right call. For sure, big question mark on, do you take that risk at this point when you're talking about down? I mean, yes, playing super aggressive sometimes can catch a team off guard, but it doesn't feel like Orgless is that team right now. So it's an unfortunate loss for sure. The diffuser's down since Inrio's down. I mean, a couple of the top players here, not on the board anymore. But look at this flank coming out from Carnage. This could be huge.
Franklin's able to take Toaster down as the grenade rings out. Flashes start to happen. Got one close. Shots towards Blue. Now puts himself onto the stacks, and it's just kind of a ring around the rosy situation. And unfortunate siege timing is going to see Karnage taken off the board, and Solo's able to find one. Trying to get that C4 back so it can be used again. It's going to hold on for dear life. He gets it now into a 2v3. This could be huge. Looking around for wherever that last Valkyrie cam is, trying to make sure that they don't have eyes on where it's going down. Sledge now to start opening up and try to find Castle down below. Fenrir gadgets to stop it.
He gets
there,
it!
and it's going to find one. Zonky's going to take Solo. We get equalized again. 48 seconds now as it starts to count down, and the fires are going to stop the default plant from being a viable option until the last few. Effective job at slowing everything down, still holding off of the chassis. The cross is set. Defense in a position.
He's got to win this battle.
Down towards the ore. They're going to miss it. And Deity finds one. Zonky finds the other. Defense stays alive for another round.
Oh, man. Well played. Combination of the intel and the utility. Right place, right time. That C4 was almost in exactly the same spot as he shoots it off the ceiling, but goes for it in a better spot, better timing. The sledge, that's one of the fallback, or one of the, the risks of playing the sledges. You are much more vulnerable to the C4 from down below because you're a little bit more predictable and freaking loud as Sledge is just clunking around with the armor upstairs. And Karn & Co makes them pay for it. Plus, the fires of the Goyo to block the default plant.
Bombs.
Well played, timed perfectly there at the end. And then, honestly, it comes down to it. Hitting your shots. They won. They hit all of the shots that they needed. That could have easily gone in Orgless's favor. But when it came down to it, man, they hit at the right time.
Ooh, okay. Perfect for 4. They find 2. A good start to the climb. Take it down to the bakery now. Distracted is good. It's a hold. It happened. Zonky was great on the clash. 12-5 currently becomes that win factor force on Karn & Co. Just hold out. Try to torch that time as much as possible. They've got stuff they get active with. Double on the side of that vertical play. Both Buck and Ram going to be around. They choose the Buck that way. They're not going to be as susceptible to the C4. You can still die to it.
Well played.
Be a little bit farther away.
That's a great call there from Solo to make that switch. He had originally shown the sledge, and I think changing onto the buck is an adaptation there from a Karn and Co roster that was ready with the C4. And they only have 2 this time around, playing on the first floor, but still plenty of vertical to be had that makes them vulnerable. So I like that changeup. You do lose the nades, right? I mean, Sledge is bringing along that pair of the frag grenades, so it's switching into the flashes. But the fact that Franklin and Spiff both have a pair in hand, I think it still gives them all of the utility they need to work this attack. So Karnico's just got to be extra careful, and the problem is, don't be too careful. They've now completely bunkered themselves back down, holding on to all first floor positions, no third floor, no second floor, which can allow Solo here to open all of this floor up directly. So, and they got the VIP section holding downstairs. It is very much focused on the mining side, rather over closer to the white stair.
A lot of time already gone here. Starts to get a little bit more defensive sided the longer they can hold out, but they've claimed a lot of that second floor, and now a lot of attention towards that vertical. Opened up. It's forced the defenders out, spread them a little thin, potentially. Only going to be Cade actually holding down inside of sight, looking for it. You can see these defenders up here on the vertical run. They are absolutely on the hunt here, trying to find anybody that's still lurking down and in sight. They're not going to be rewarded just yet.
Oh man, 50 seconds left. They haven't been able to gain control of VIP. Pushed a little bit out, and Raid goes down to Uzi. That is a huge pick.
Double duties, it rings out. Karn goes down 2, but Deity's able to answer back. They find 2. Uzi on
he
Zonky,
takes down
main
the Clash
advantage
like
into
that.
the hands of nobody. Uzi goes down as well. All of a sudden, you're in a good position to potentially
That
win
is
this
the
out
greatest
now. Oh, and not a
moment
ball.
in my
Toaster in the
life,
last
bro.
alive. The only hope in the 6-4 scenario. 2v1. Still have Inrio. He's been the force. He's been the power, seeing this team through. And now they've got themselves in a good position to do a plant. You've got some long range. The cross is set up.
No
and that's
way!
gonna do it. Solo's gonna take Toaster, and they're gonna find it. GG's rain out in the all chat in the Franklin raid battle. Franklin's team comes out on top. Sheesh.
Wow. Orgless, in the end, clutches up in a 7-4 victory. Man, what a play for this team. Karn & Co was so freaking close, my friend. The fact that they came down to final seconds on so many of those rounds, objective-based, diffuser in hand, was wild. I think it's rare that we get to see 2 teams that were as evenly matched throughout the individual rounds, and then to have it go maps 2-0 is tragic there for the Karn & Co team. The good news is, for anyone that's, Karn & Co and Raid fans in the chat, they are not eliminated out of the closed qualifiers yet. One more opportunity, another best of 3. The good thing on the Orgless side is they just don't have to play that one. They are locked in now for the group stage in XGS. And honestly, great group of guys we got to spend some time with as a part of the Spoit Contender Series in person. Great group, and appreciate that they made it here. And thanks everybody, all of the people that joining us for the XGS closed qualifier tonight. It's been some great Siege, my friend.
Yeah, no kidding. Exactly what you want when it starts to become all online. Like, this is what Siege was about, was this back and forth, both teams evenly matched, duking it out, pride on the line battles. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Okay, well, there's more Siege to be had here, so we're going to take a break here and see exactly what that means for the Siege double shot. So hang out for a sec, and we're going to direct you either here or to the next one on where it's headed at. But either way, some more Xenon coming your way. Sit back, relax. When we come back, we're going to talk about it. Ayo.
Let's go.
All right, what's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. For us, Unfortunately, we're going to be calling it here, but there's a lot of Siege going on right now. You've got Xenon going on. We've got the Creator Clash with Sir Pineapple. We're going to go head you over back to Xenon so you can see the rest of this bracket being played out. Some really good games and some fun up-and-coming casters over there. So go show your love to them as soon as we get you there. If you want more Siege, we've got some big stuff coming your way. Some fun collaborations in the works. So keep your eyes on Twitter. We do have our giveaway that is coming up for the merch, where you're going to be able to get yourself your own very own piece of SDS merch. Wear it loud, wear it proud. When you finally touch grass, you can do it with class now, my friends. And that's all going to be going down on Twitter. I'm at glitter whiskey. He's at racing GENGR. Jesus, I can't even talk for it tonight. And together we're the Siege Double Shot. If you didn't get it, it's right below. Take a look at take a look there. We got a lot of stuff going on there. Also in the Discord, if you want to come play, have some ranked, some of the other games that are going on. It's discord.gg/doubleshot. But Run, we did it. We made it to the end of the evening here.
Yeah, it was a great run for sure. Close qualifiers here in XGS have been a hell of a lot of fun, and it's coming down to the final couple teams. And also, didn't get to say it earlier, thank you, Naj, for the tier 1. Appreciate you joining the double shots and subscribing to the channel. Much appreciated, my friends. And thanks everyone for joining us. But yeah, that's it, my friend. Great game here, and Karn & Co. want to see them come back in their next BO3.
That's right. Okay, folks, we love you. We had a blast. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for that 8,000 mark that we reached yesterday, and everybody that's tuned in since. We just appreciate the hell out of you. But for tonight, alas, we have come to the dreaded part of the evening where we must bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Ayo!
Let's go.